So Duck and I just went into the Cracker Barrel at White's Pass, which is actually a gas station. Got showers and resupplied. Spent a few hours there like relaxing. It's a really hot day today, like in the 80s. So we just kind of hung out, charged up our battery bank, things like that, had ice cream. And now that's cooling off a little bit, we're back on trail. Trying to do at least another 8 miles to make today an 18-mile day. I mean, it'd be really cool to do just the bottom of the mountain, which is like, I think it would make it to 21-mile day. We'll see. My feet still hurt, I still have blisters, but they are feeling better. It does feel a lot better than it did a few days ago. And the long break definitely helped too. Only Duck saw the alpacas. He passed them on the way down to White Pass, but I never saw them. I'm still seeing their tracks, so they're ahead of me. It'd be really cool to catch up to them and see some. It wasn't alpacas, it was llamas, but anyways, it'd be really cool to run into them and see them on the trail. These big old majestic whistle pigs looking off into the valley. So majestic. Tiny little patch of snow up there. I haven't seen snow near the trail in a while. It's almost all gone. Duck and I are pretty late getting into camp. We still have another 2 miles to go. But honestly, this is such a pretty time to hike. To get all this, oh, there's the sunset over there. All the beautiful sunset colors. Hitting all the mountains and the flowers. And it's cool out. I'm not sweating. This is really nice. There's a huge lake of fog out there behind the burn trees. Looks pretty cool. This is another burn section that Doug missed last year.
It was on fire.
So last night was pretty rough. We got in late, it was dark, and we were trying to camp at Hidden Springs spring tent site. And we get down there, we feel really bad because people camped, but Hidden Springs is really hidden. We just followed the path, kept going and going. I mean, it's 0.3 to get down there to begin with, and then we probably walked another 0.2 out, and we still couldn't find the springs. The trail didn't line up with the Gut Hooks trail, and there was like a comment, there were some like propane tanks that were left there that said make a left at the propane tanks, and it was just like barely even a trail. It's like a deer trail or something like that, and there's nothing out there. We're just walking around for a long time in the dark trying to just find water because we were out of water. At least I needed water, so eventually backtracked. We found another fork. We stumbled into the llama camp with the 4 llamas, and everyone tented there, and they like camped right on the path to the water, so we had to like walk around them and like walk by their llamas, and we definitely disturbed them. They were talking about us this morning, which I feel really bad, but we needed to get to the water. And then we like set up in the dark. Now I wish we were further away from them, but like we weren't like right up against them, so I mean there wasn't really much we could do. We ended up going to bed around midnight after all of that, and we still woke up early today, so I'm absolutely exhausted. And then at some point in the night, a critter came up and was messing with Doc. He decided to cowboy camp. If you don't know what that is, that's not sleeping in a tent. He was just sleeping on his Tyvek sheets. But it was messing with him last night. So, and that woke me up. I'm just absolutely exhausted right now. But we left before everyone that was camped there. Clouds are just moving in. From this angle, it looks like it's just like a lake of clouds up there, and then it hits this like ridge right along here, and then just rolling down like a waterfall just into this lower valley. So interesting to see it that way. Trying to hide from the sun by hiding underneath the ice. We're taking a water break and he's just like...
Nice and cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but this is just really neat. Sitting here. We have to cross that and get up there. Duck, what are you doing?
Cleaning my socks. Snow. It's taking the dirt off.
You're just making the snow brown by hitting your sock. Socks are that dirty?
They're pretty bad.
I guess the stream we were just at is all snow melt from up there. The section we're approaching, or maybe that we're in, it's called Goat Rocks. And it has its own special knife's edge that we're going to go over shortly. Supposedly we could see mountain goats. I hope I get to see some mountain goats. I'm not sure exactly what these are, but there are more of these tunnels up here, like what I saw in the Sierras, and they're solid. They're not hollow. So I don't see how that's like a tunnel. I would still really like to know what that is. I'm so curious. I believe that's supposed to be Knife's Edge right there. This is getting kind of intimidating because the trail's really steep. Some places narrow, it's all loose rock. Sometimes it's like the loose dirt with pebbles. And that makes it so easy to just like slide out from underneath your feet and just take a spill. It's not something you want to fall down. So we're a bit on edge, about to go over the Knife's Edge, but everyone seems to be making it through all right, so I think we'll be fine. This looks intimidating. We're debating if what we did was the Knife's Edge or if it's not up there. I mean, the section here beyond that lump might have been it. Either way, I slipped. The rocks are very loose. Definitely makes me nervous. So we've got a little bit of snow to deal with. It is covering the trail, so we're just gonna have to walk kind of on the edge and hopefully not slide down there. Although sliding down there, it's not the worst option of sliding that we've had like back there. All these flat rocks, they're all just clanking against each other like a bunch of china. They're so musical.
Giant xylophone.
It's kind of like walking on a giant xylophone. Looks like we got 2 more patches of snow coming up ahead. That little section right there, it's a little nerve-wracking. Alright, Duck.
The worst part is getting down to it and back. I don't like rocks
Was
anymore.
it? It's not lined
I'm
up with the
done
trail.
rocks.
Yeah. I wish I had micro spikes for that. I was just one step at a time, go slow. We got the next patch of snow up there. But it looks like there's going to be some shade It is so hot today. We're just melting. I feel so gross. Okay, so I think there's some confusion here. I took the official PCT route, which goes along here, and I guess Knife's Edge was along the top of that, which is the horse alternate route, which apparently used to be the old PCT route, which went over Knife's Edge at the top. But that is no longer the official route, so we're just kind of conflicted because we thought that we were going to go over it and we were super excited about it. But, I mean, we did the PCT route. We could just take our packs off and run up there. Oh, it's a hard choice. Duck?
I want to be up there.
So Duck and I are quickly climbing up the PCT alternate route so we can check out Knife's Edge. We left our packs back at the junction. Whew. Still a heck of a climb on a really hot day. Over there is Mount St. Helens, and over this way is Mount Rainier. I made the climb to Knife's Edge. We were thinking it might be up there, but that's just the peak of Old Snowy Mountain. People are going up there for the peak. But right here, this is definitely Knife's Edge. It was an exhausting hot climb, and I wish I brought my water bottle, but here we go. This is so cool right here. It's not as scary as I thought it would be. I was picturing something much more intense, but this is just really neat. Just so awesome up here. I feel like we've experienced the Knife's Edge. It looks like it just keeps going on like this, going downhill. So this is really cool. And wasn't that scary? I'm surprised that the PCT decided to change this to be an alternate route rather than the route, because the route that we just took was, I don't know, subpar to this. This is definitely the route to take. This is pretty cool. This is some crazy, pristine, ice cold melt off water from that pile of snow up there. And Duck's just drinking it. Oh my gosh. It is so nice. It's so clear. Across another snowfield. So there are mountain goats out there. They are very far away and we're just like barely able to see them out there.
I just came over that crest and went back.
They're probably not visible in this video. It's really hard to tell. It's super bright and sunny out, but they're out there. This is called Goat Rocks for a reason. I think that there might be one over here. I don't know if that's a rock or snow. It's hard to tell.
This one I can see is 4 legs.
I cannot believe how clear this section is of rocks. Usually it's just a big jumble, but they're all stacked up neatly to the left. Someone went through and took the time to move all of these rocks. That is just incredible to me. This is so nice to walk on. I wish more of the trail would be like this. It'd be so nice on the feet. It's the end of the day in this heavy fog, or honestly it's probably a cloud just because of our elevation. If you go lower it's probably gonna be clear again, but definitely gives it this eerie spooky because it's just after sunset. There's still light out, but it's actually cool out. Today was so hot. This feels awesome. This is just really interesting. It smells interesting. So it looked like it rained last night, but it was super misty and everything got wet. Like, oh, lots of condensation in my tent, but it was like wet, like it looks like it rained wet. And I think it was just from the mist. And there's a lot of overgrowth on the trail, and I just walked through it and I got absolutely soaking wet. It was dripping wet, like I jumped in a pond or something. And it's kind of chilly out. Like it's comfortable hiking weather, but not when you're drenched in cold water. I was so cold. I wish I started in my rain gear. I didn't really think of that. I keep making that mistake and not wearing it, but I only went about 2 miles and I had to stop, take off my wet clothes and then put some dry stuff on, and then put my rain gear on, rain pants, rain jacket, and I feel a lot better. Just like warmed up and ate something right off. As I'm told that there's gonna be more wet overgrowth. Right now it's like clear, but that's why I stopped. I'm like, all right, this is a good spot. Oh, and then Duck had a mouse get in his tent last night. He left his tent open and it came in there with him. He had to chase it around and get it out too. So he got to experience a mouse in the tent as well. So I'm worried about finishing in time. I have to go home in October. I have a lot of stuff to do when I get home for work. I have jury duty. I just have like a lot going on, so I have to go back in October. And I don't think I could make it all the way to Kearsarge before then. So, I mean, I'll see how far I can get, but that makes me sad thinking that I might not be able to finish this hike this year. If I'm not able to finish, I intend on coming back next year to complete the rest of my miles to finish the PCT. But that's been on the back of my mind and stressing me out for the past week. Really been worried about that, but I just don't think I could do the miles I need every day to be able to make that happen. So we were hiking and the weather was beautiful, and then it started drizzling and then thundering, and then took shelter. Now it's hailing. There are chunks of ice falling from the sky. This is just lovely, and we've got a deadline to make. This is not fun.
Smiles or miles? Smiles or miles?
I mean, nice to do both. You're doing really good today. And then,
we're doing good. It was nice and sunny. We dried our stuff out.
And this is so cruddy.
I'm glad we dried our tents when we did.
Yeah.
This would be a bad time to dry our tents.
Yeah. The hail hurts. We're like underneath this tree and it keeps hitting us. There's some good sized chunks that are coming down and just smacking us. Like Duck is covered in little Dippin' Dots. Like they're on your shoulder.
Dippin' Dots.
They look like Dippin' Dots. Maybe we should just collect them and like put some meal on them or something.
Get some huckleberries.
Yeah, there's some huckleberry bushes next to me. I can pick them. I hope my pack doesn't wash away. It's turning into a river down there. This one just hit my knee. Like it hurts. Did it hit you? It's like, here, we'll put it in the egg carton that we're sitting on. Yeah, I can go right there. Ow! Ow! They're getting really big and painful. I just screamed.
Look at the water.
Ow, they're just hitting the water. It just looks like the water's boiling. There's so many. These really,
Ow!
these really hurt. And we're not in a very good spot. These are really terrible. Oh my god. Oh.
Oh, give me the head.
We need a hard hat. Doug, this isn't fun. Oh my god. They're the size of marbles. Like we're getting pelted by marbles from the sky, basically. Duck and I were supposed to get picked up by his stepdad in Trout Lake because one of his friends is going away and having a going away party. He's moving to possibly Hawaii. So that was our plan, to go there, but when the hailstorm started happening, it was really miserable. And then there's Adam Creek, or I think it's Creek, was coming up, and we'd been warned by a whole bunch of people not to cross in the afternoon because it gets really deep. Apparently in the morning you can walk across it and get dry and stay dry, and then it starts flooding in the afternoon and gets really bad. Apparently that's the thing that this river does every day. So at that point we were going to be crossing it at about 7 p.m. or 7:30, which was not the most ideal time, but with how much the trail was flooding, like the campsites were washing away, everything just started getting so wet that it just didn't sound like it would be very safe. And the hail was really painful and miserable. We had just crossed a Forest Service road. So we decided to contact his stepdad to come pick us up, and we backtracked 1.5 miles back to this road, and he was able to find us and pick us up since he has a hunting cabin in the area, so he was able to come over. It wasn't like too long of a drive for him. We stayed the night there, and then we went to the party the next day. So we just got off the trail early. The party was a lot of fun, and then we are gonna head back out to the cabin tonight, and then head back out on the trail tomorrow. We are in line to make it to trail days. We were in line before to do that, but now we are going to have to bust some miles because we're now like 20 something miles back than what we thought we were when we were gonna get picked up. But we'll still make it to trail days. We'll be able to hike into trail days, which I'm really excited about. Alright, you're excited for trail days?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. Watched the guy win the hot dog eating contest last year and learned some ways that I might be able to do it this year. Dunk the bread in the water, just eat them.
Are you gonna participate? Are you gonna sign up?
I signed up last year.
Yeah?
Who cares if you win? You can get hot dogs first. The free hot dogs are for everyone, but the hot dog contest is first.
Alright. And we've got our clothes hanging up. We treated them with permethrin, so hopefully less flies will be getting us. The flies are pretty bad, right, Doug?
That would be pretty nice to be away from those things.
Yeah, they were pretty terrible.
Where'd your phone go?
I don't know.
You want video?
I had a video going. Yeah, it used to be a
Pigs in a blanket.
Take sound. Take sound. Right. See the reveal.
Yep.
Oh, lost a foot. Big sound.
Big sound.
Big sound. Oh, sorry.
It smells so good.
I hope it's gonna turn out. I don't know. Sure. It's probably gonna.
Dog tails are basically just furry snakes.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Oh my.